Chef Sang Yoon was born in South Korea, schooled by some of the finest chefs in the U.S. and Europe. He plays hockey and has been called the godfather of the Gastro pub scene.
His first restaurant was a renovated dive bar called Father's Office. It features the Office Burger, named one of the world's best by Esquire magazine. Sang Yoon is also the chef-owner of two other L.A. area restaurants, Lakshan and Helm's Bakery. Chef, welcome to the dish.
Oh, thanks for having me.
This looks really cool, but it's cruel putting me next to this cake.
That was done on purpose. Yeah, I know your weaknesses, so we put that over there.
So what have you brought for us here?
Well, when I think of special meals, it really goes back to childhood. And growing up in an immigrant family, Los Angeles, being of Korean heritage, you would think it's something exotic, something Korean. But in reality, it's the day of my 6th grade graduation when,
wow.
when my family took me to a place called Lowry's for Prime Rib, an old haunt in L.A.
Right.
And I watched the prime rib cart get wheeled out. And you're looking at this huge slab of meat and the baked potato cart, and it's so unfamiliar because it's in Korean culture, it's not something you see.
Right.
And to me, that has just from that moment on meant special. And anytime I have a chance to cook for family or friends, I always wheel out the prime rib. It's kind of a throwback, but to me, it's just so decadent, and it's like there's nothing better.
Think.
Ah, well, good. I'm glad.
You mentioned family. You know, your mom worked for Chanel.
Yeah.
Your father was one of the founder of Korea Times.
Yeah.
Where does this love of food come from?
Well, part of it is unfortunately, neither of my parents are really good cooks, so I think I learned how to cook out of necessity. It's either fast food or survival instincts, I think, pretty much.
That's so interesting, but at the same time, when you went to college, you actually studied psychology?
I did, yes. Yeah, trying to get to know myself a little better.
Tell us a little bit about your burger, and I have to start off by you telling me, because it's world-renowned. As we mentioned, it's on Esquire's list of the best burger. What is behind the name of your restaurant? Why is it called My Father's Office? And what's the secret of this burger?
Well, Father's Office was called that before I took it over. It was an old dive bar since the 50s.
Right.
And I just renovated it, added
It was
the
like
kitchen.
your favorite place or something, wasn't it?
It was. It's like every guy's dream to buy their watering hole, isn't
right,
it? I mean,
yeah.
That's the best name for a bar I've ever heard of. Father's Office. Okay, go on.
And the burger was really all about, I wanted to do something that was a burger that wasn't about the condiments. As you know, I don't serve ketchup, and that kind of became a big deal. But we use dry-aged beef. It's actually very similar to the meat I'm serving here today. And I really wanted it to taste like a steak. And the rest of the burger was really inspired by French onion soup, which is really one of my absolute favorite things. So you get the Gruyere, you get the toasted bread, the sweet onions, and that's really all it is. It's a very simple burger.
But I do have to ask, so what's with the no ketchup rule?
Ketchup's kind of overpowering. It's got a lot of corn syrup in it.
Right.
It's just not one of my favorite condiments. I think it's kind of a lazy way to get flavor.
Yeah.
We called you one of the grandfathers of the Gastro pub scene. I mean, you were trained in some of the best kitchens. Did you ever think that this movement would be what it is today?
Absolutely not. I mean, going from fine dining to something casual like buying your neighborhood bar, there's no business plan. I just kind of felt I felt just kind of disenchanted with like going out to dinner and being on your best behavior, so to speak, getting dressed up. I just felt like good food should be served in a casual environment.
In the middle of doing all of this, you're also an avid hockey player, we hear. So how do you get the time to hit the ice?
Well, yeah, it's getting harder and harder in my advanced age, but I think the kitchen's a hot place. You got to go cool off, literally. And
right.
I've been playing since I was a kid, and to me, it's my favorite sport. And
do you belong to a league or something? Or?
I do. I still play a couple times a week. I'm an avid LA Kings fan. Go Kings! And yeah, to me, it's a passion that's as important as cooking for me.
It's rare to meet someone from Southern California who's a diehard ice hockey player.
It is.
Yeah,
it's a fish out of water story.
Tell us a little about Lakshan, your other restaurant, because it's totally different.
Yeah, Lakshan is sort of my kind of going back to traditional restaurants. It's all inspired by Southeast Asia, but with a very modern spin on it. Classic Southeast Asian, Thai, Malaysian dishes, but with a very contemporary point of view.
We've got champagne here, we should note. And you are an avid, and we mentioned this earlier, I think, that you're an avid champagne collector.
Ah, yes, I am.
How did that start?
Well, I call it more of an affliction than anything else. But when I was working in some of these restaurants in Paris, as you work in the kitchen, the sommeliers want to become friends with you, and it was a barter system at Jaman in Paris where I would give the sommelier a piece of foie gras at the end of the night in exchange for a little sip of champagne. And the first time I had great champagne as a kid, I was instantly hooked, and I knew that I never wanted to run out of champagne, basically.
Well, if you could share this dish with anyone, either past or present, who would that person be as I hand you this dish so we can get your signature on it?
Probably my greatest culinary influence to this day, my adoptive grandmother. I had a real Jewish bobby growing up. And the first thing I ever learned how to cook was a Seder. Gefilte fish.
No way,
yeah.
really?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
fabulous.
Yeah, it's what I'm still probably best at. I should, And of course, Lakshan means noodle in Yiddish. So.
So next time we see you, champagne with gefilte fish. We love it.
Yeah, that actually worked pretty good. So yeah, I'd really love to share this meal with my booby.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, Chef Sang Yoon. And for more on Sang Yoon and the dish, head to our website at CBS This Morning.